The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus told his disciples a parable about the need to pray continually and never lose heart. There was a judge in a certain town, he said, who had neither fear of God nor respect for men. In the same town there was a widow who kept on coming to him and saying, "I want justice from you against my enemy." For a long time he refused, but at last he said to himself, "Maybe I have neither fear of God nor respect for men, but since she keeps pestering me, I must give this widow her just rights, or she will persist in coming and worry me to death." And the Lord said, "You notice what the unjust judge has to say. Now will not God see justice done to his chosen, who cry to him day and night, even when he delays to help them? I promise you, he will see justice done to them, and done speedily. But when the Son of Man comes, will he find any faith on earth?" The Gospel of the Lord.
I want to start with a story that happened this morning. While I was in the chapel downstairs, preparing and reflecting what I wanted to share with you this morning on this subject of prayer, I noticed a father coming in, a very young father coming in with his 10 or 11-year-old son, dressed up in his football jersey, coming or going maybe to the football nursery this morning, and they remained there in silence for almost 10 minutes or more. And that for me was the best way of preparing what I need to share to you this morning. This is the way we talk about prayer. It's just talking to God or listening to God. It's a two-way communication with God, but we need to address God. God is always addressing us. God is always appealing to us. God is always creating experiences and happenings in our daily life to attract us to his attention. In fact, I want to share with you a different way of interpreting this story that we have just heard. We normally look at the widow of the story that Jesus told his disciples as our own position in front of God. And the judge is that God who is hearing the pleas of this widow. That's how we normally interpret this parable. We, the widows, insisting on God to give us what we want. Today I want you to reverse the interpretation and see us as the judge. Us as the judge and God as the widow who is pleading to us all the time to live the commandment of love. God is pleading to us to give good works, to be like his Son, Jesus Christ, who was here for 33 years to show us how we can live. God is there pestering us, as the widow pestered the judge, to give her what she wanted. And God is pestering us all the time to give him and us at the same time what he wants. The love of justice, the love of compassion, living the commandment of love, living compassion in our way of living today. This is how I would like you to look at this parable today. The normal way, as I said, is, yes, prayer. Prayer is there for us to communicate with God, and that's how we should keep it. But at the same time, let's remember, too, that God is praying us on his knees, almost, so that we turn to him. We dialogue with him, we communicate with him. And let's not behave as if God did not exist. Let's not behave as we have a God of gaps, that when we are with our back to the wall, when we are having a bad news from the doctor of our lives, then yes, we turn to God and we plead to him to cure us and to give us what we want. God has no time. God gives us what is the best for us. But we need to have perseverance and faith in God. That's why faith and prayer go together. And that's why we admire this woman, because she had perseverance. He continued to insist on the judge to give her what she was due. And so God too insists and pesters us and pleads on us to give him his due so that we live, not for his own sake, but for our own sake, because he wants us to live here on earth in peace and happy. That's the idea of prayer. So I was impressed, and I took a very good hint and example this morning by that father, who this morning thought, yes, we go to the nursery, but we go together also to church, to the chapel, to say a prayer, to reflect upon our life, to thank God for the passion of football that you have for his son and for sport. Yes, these are moments of prayer, of thanking God for the good gifts that he has given us in life. And so he brought his son before or after going to the nursery to come here and pray. And that's what we should do. Daily, every day, not only when we need God. God, we need him every moment, even when we are well, even more well, maybe even when we are well, or we have all the materialistic and consumism things that we have in our life. We need him more at that moment, in case we are distracted by them all and forget about God in our lives and live a selfish life. God does not want us to live like that. Why does he not want? For us, because he knows if we live like that, we are unhappy, and he doesn't want us to be unhappy here on earth. Let's read together this little prayer that we have. Persistence made the crotchety judge give in to the difficult old widow. Lord, no question about it. You made the fact crystal clear to us. To petition is a good thing. To pester, even better. Constantly we come to you like the widow, pounding on your door day and night. Put this widow's kind of faith in our hearts, O God, as we await for your speedy reply.